Friends, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to our new playlist for NumPy. So guys, till now we have discussed about core Python, we have discussed about pandas package. So this is a new playlist, I would say a very short playlist. Basically I'm trying to complete it within 2 to 3 videos itself. A very short playlist on NumPy that is called as numerical Python. So as we have seen about pandas, this is also a package. So basically it's similar package we have in NumPy. This is as similar as pandas, and this is basically in pandas, like we used to work on data frames and a series kind of objects or kind of data types, and over NumPy, that is numerical Python, will be working with matrices and arrays. Okay, so as I said in my Python playlist in my one of my video that Python does not contain array. There is no concept of array in Python, but there is a concept of array in our numerical Python. Okay, so basically this playlist will only be circulating around our two objects, that is our array and the second is matrices. So matrix is nothing but a subset of array, I would say. So basically we have the main thing that you want to learn is about array, and there are only 2 to 3 main functions like reshape, random. That is these 2 to 3 functions is only important in this NumPy, though I will be teaching more than that. But specifically I'll be focusing more on that, the most used functions of NumPy. Okay, so guys, I'll be using Jupyter Notebook as usual. So you'll be able to find this NumPy package in our Anaconda distribution, which we have installed. If you go to environments, then you'll be able to find in search packages, just write NumPy. You'll be able to find that it is already there in this bundle. And as we did it for pandas, import pandas as PD. Similarly, we are going to import this package into our Jupyter Notebook as import NumPy as NP. So this is the aliasing that we are doing. We are calling NumPy as NP. So instead of writing NumPy every time, each time, we just call NP. Okay. So now moving on, let's talk about array. So over here you'll be able to find that I have created one variable a where I'm storing, where I'm creating an array, np.array, using this function. Okay, like we used to do in our pandas, pd.dataframe or pd.series. Over here it's an np.array because we are creating array object, and the data of my array is this, which is contained inside my list. So array is similar to list. You won't be finding any difference between these two, but there are few differences, like array is way much faster and it occupies less space than my list. Okay, so I have created one list and then I have placed inside a parenthesis of my np.array. So okay, let me just execute this. So let's see how my a looks like. Okay, so I have made one variable a. Let me execute a. Okay, np is not defined. Let me execute this and execute this. See, this is one array created, array which contains data of 1 2 3 4. Now one thing that you need to know, that this is a 1D array. What do you mean by 1D? D means dimension. So this you can easily check by seeing this square bracket of the list. If there is nested list or list inside list, then there would be 2 square bracket for sure. If there is 1 square bracket, then it is a 1D array. And in this case you will be able to find we have a list inside a list, and there are 2 square brackets, right? Over here you will be able to find that there are 2 square brackets at the start and the end. So this will be a 2D array. 2D array means there will be x coordinate and y coordinate. 1D means x only x points, and 3D we all know x y z point. More than that I don't think we will be able to visualize, but NumPy can do, but I don't think so we will be able to understand more than 3D. Okay, so as I said, this is a 1D. So let me check first type of my this a variable. So it will be my nd array. So whole of my whole of my NumPy playlist will revolve around nd array and my matrices. Okay, so over here you will be able to find n defines the number of dimensions, nd is the dimension, means n can be 1 2 3 4 5 6 anything. So it's like a variable itself. So 1D array, 2D array, 3D array, like this, it is just making a name like nd array. This is our data type. Okay, now there is one more function, a is nothing but my variable which contains my array 1 2 3 4 n dim. Let us execute this. So it is saying 1 means it will give me the number of dimensions. N dim means number of dimension. This is also a function present inside my numpy package which will give me the number of dimension which is present inside my variable a. So as I said, only one bracket, it will be 1D array. If I let's say I'm putting one more bracket over here. Let me restart kernel. I think it's hung up. Okay, yeah, let me put okay, yep. So I'm placing one more square bracket. Now let's execute. So you will be able to find now it's showing as 2D array because there is two bracket. Okay, so this is how easily we can find the dimensions of my given array. So similarly, in the next cell you will be able to find that I have created a 2D array which contains three data 1 2 3 4 and 5 6. Okay, now okay, let me just comment out this. Let's execute b.ndim. Okay, okay, it's one second. Yep. So b.ndim, as we all know, there are two square brackets, so it will be 2. So it means it is two dimension array. Now let's execute b.shape. This is also all of these are um, inbuilt functions present inside my numpy package. So if you see, if I executed this b.shape, it is giving me 3 cross 2 means 3 rows and 2 column. How? Let me just explain it to you. So this is my data 1 2 3 4 5 6. There are three lists present inside my list, or you can say it's a 2D array. One second guys. Yeah. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is how our array are stored. Okay, so 1 2 is in my one row, second row, third row. So there are how many rows? 3 rows. And how many columns? 2 columns. So the first thing denotes is my number of rows, the second thing is my number of columns. So that is why the shape is 3 cross 2 means 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, now let's go to b.size. Let's see what this function is useful for. If I execute b.size, it will tell me number of elements inside my array. It will count each and every element and it will give me the size of my array, that is 6. Okay, now similarly let us say uh, I have included one more 7 and 8, so the size will become 8. We know that. Let's comment out and let's check the shape. So it will be 4 cross 2 means 4 rows and 2 columns. How? Let's check that. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. First row, second row, third row, fourth row and 2 columns. So this is how it is giving me the shapes. Okay, so I think this is clear for now. Now moving on. Now if we want, we can manually give the dimension. We have seen over here we can how we can make 1D array into 2D just by giving this bracket. There is one argument which we can pass inside my function of array, that is np.array, and the argument is ndmin. Many of you are getting confused. Over here you will be able to find this function called as ndim. It is giving me number of dimensions. Similarly, you can give number of dimensions of my array using this also. So there are some spelling differences, but don't get confused. These two things are nothing but number of dimensions. So over here we are getting a result in the first cell. We are getting result how much dimension is my array. In this we are setting our dimension. So if I say n d min equal to 2 means it is going to set my array where there is 2 dimension, means it will convert this 1 comma 2 into 2 dimension. And if you see the output, yes, it is converting. There are 2 square brackets created, so it is converting my array into 2D. Okay, similarly there is one more argument inside my np.array, that is called as dtype, means data type. We all know, so we can give our own data type we want. Okay, similarly okay, let me just delete this float. Okay, let me execute this. Let me comment out this and this. Okay, so there is one variable called as c which contains data 1 comma 2 comma 3, and what I mentioned over here is the data type is float, so it will convert my data or the elements inside my array into floating numbers like 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. It will include a decimal place. Okay, similarly, let's say I'm giving another very data type string. It will convert into string. You will be able to see like it is giving us the result in single quotes, means it is converting 1 2 3 in string values. Okay, now moving on, if you see type of C. Okay, now there is one more thing that I forgot in this example. Like we do indexing and slicing in our list, the similar kind of way we can do it in our array as well. So if I execute b of 0 in this example, okay, so we know what b of 0 is. So 0 is nothing but my 0th index. Now what is in my 0th index? We know what my b is. It is these four list. We know how indexing works. 1 comma 2 will be my 0th index, 3 comma 4 will be my first index, 5 comma 6 will be my second index, and 7 comma 8 will be my fourth index. And if we go from right to left, 7 comma 8 will be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and 1 comma 4 1 comma 2 will be minus 4. We can do any kind of indexing in array also, like we do in our list. So b of 0 will be nothing but 1 comma 2. Let's execute this and check. Yep, it is 1 comma 2. And let's check what is my b of 1. First index contains my data 3 comma 4, and similarly so on and so forth. Now let's check b of minus 1, what it is giving me. Yes, it is giving me the last one, like we used to do in our list, in our Python playlist. Okay, now let me execute b of 0. We all know b of 0 is 1 comma 2. Now if I want to um, use this element 2 inside 1 comma 2, then we know how to give this also. So 0 of 1 means 2. So b of 0 we know 1 comma 2. In 1 comma 2, 1 is nothing but my 0th index and 2 is my first index. So after this I'm giving one more bracket in which I'm giving index of my 2. Okay, so this is how easily we can use this indexing operation in our array as well, like we used to do in our list. Similarly, if I see type of C0, we know what is C0. C0 is nothing but my 1, okay, or 1 dot, or 1 in my string value. Let's check C of 0. No, okay, let me just change this. So okay, this is for something else example. Let me just use this np dot float 64. Okay, it is giving me C. Let's execute this. Yep, it says numpy dot float 64. So I'll tell you what this 64 and all means, but it will give me the type of my single element. For this example, it is 1. Okay, then there is one more a function that is called as item size. Let's execute and see what it is giving me. So to understand item size, let us go to this cell number 83. So inside our data type, we have one more data type. For example, in our integer, string, or our in float data type, so there is this 16, 32, and 64 bit kind of data type. So it can be int 16, it can be int 32, it can be int 64. It like all depends on the size or the space it is using. So over here what I am doing is I am making my float as 64 bit, nothing else. Okay, so accordingly it will occupy space of each and every element of my array. For example, if I take this b, so you'll be able to find that b is nothing but my integer. Okay, so it will take 4 bytes. So that is like predefined, like it will take 4 bytes, and each byte is 8 bits, so it is 32 bits. Like it will define all these different bits will define the space which is occupied by each and every element and nothing else. Okay, I don't think like this is of much use in for now, because we are still dealing with the basic, but just to give you an idea, like we have these 3 bits which is present inside our numpy, I mean in our whole Python. So just to give you a brief overview of it. Okay, now moving on, we have already seen what arange is in our pandas. I guess we have used this particular function. Let's check it out once again. So we know what range is in our Python. We have discussed about range. So it's a generator basically, which will generate our values depending on the parenthesis, depending on the number that we give in our parenthesis. Okay, so similarly we have a range in our NumPy. The difference is a range can take floating values, whereas a range cannot take floating values, it will only take integer. So if I give np.arange 10, means it will give me an array of 0 to 9. It will eliminate my upper bound value, that is my 10th value. Okay, it will give me values from 0 to 9. Similarly, what I've done in my next example is np.arange. So we can give three parameters over here. First is start, so my arange will start from 1. Then second is my end, like first is my first value starting, second argument that we are passing is our ending value, and the third is nothing but my step, it will jump. So starting is 1, so it is giving me 1 dot. Then it is jumping 0.2 because the jump is, or the step is 0.2. So 1, then it is jumping 0.2 means 1.2. Similarly, then it is jumping 1.2 again, so 1.4, then 1.2, 1.6, then 1.2, sorry, 0.2, then 1.8. Now it is not giving me 2. Why? Because 2 is my ending point and it will eliminate my upper bound. Okay, now moving on, we have seen about a range. So a range does not take floating, but we have seen how a range can work on floating values as well. If we give this in a range, it will throw error saying that it will only accept integer values. Okay, now coming to our next topic is our line space. So this is one more function which is present inside our NumPy package. What it will do over here, it is also taking three arguments like in our a range. It is taking starting point as 1, it is taking ending point as 2. All these things are same till now, but if you see the last, this is not the step or jump, it is the you can say it is the break of my start and end, like it is breaking my um, uh, I mean breaking my data points into 10 different numbers. Okay, so means it is starting from 1 ending till 2, and it is breaking in between this into 10 different data. So I'm getting 10 elements of array. So you'll be able to find there are 10 elements in my array. So it is breaking this much number, 10 number of it's dividing my 1 and 2 into 10 numbers and nothing else, and it is dividing into equal spaces, or you can say into linear space. This is what line space means. Okay, it will divide 1 starting with 1 ending with 2 into 10 10 equal spaces. This is what it is meant. Now inside my line space we have one more argument that we can pass, endpoint equal to false. So I'm executing the upper code again, 1 comma 2 comma 10. In the top one you will be able to find it is giving me output 2 point, means it is giving me the end value as well. If we don't want, then we can use this endpoint equal to false, so it will end it over here itself, 1.9. I mean whatever the end value, it will eliminate. For example, in this case it is 2, so we can use this also. Okay, so now moving on, coming to my next function that is called as zeros. So np.zeros, as we all know what zeros means, and what we have done, we have defined the shape of my array, or you can say matrix. 3 cross 3 means first is row, 3 rows and 3 columns. So it is giving me 3 rows and 3 columns of matrix or array, and the values will be 0 because we are using zeros function of NumPy. So you will be able to see it is creating 3 cross 3 array of 0 element in it. And if we do not give int or any data type, we'll be able to find by default it is giving me in floating 0 point. So if we need int, we can give d type equal to integer. So this is just a 2D array, right? I'm giving rows and columns, it is 2D array. We can similarly create 3D array. In this case we have created 3D array. 3 comma 4 comma 2 means it will create 4 cross 2 matrix. How many times? 3 times. This is what it meant. It will create 4 cross 2 means 4 rows and 2 columns. See, this is 4 cross 2. How many times it will create? This is the first integer that it will tell us, 3 times. So this is how we can create this 3D array. So I guess this is the first time we are seeing this 3D array. So this is how we can see our 3D array. Okay. Similarly, np.zeros, we have one more function called as np.ones. Okay. You all know now, by like you'll be able to guess what is ones. It will give me all the value, all the data element as 1. Over here I'm again giving shape 3 rows and 2 columns. So it is giving me 3 rows and 2 columns, and everything is my 1 value in it. So I can change the data type, all you know, like d type equal to integer. So we can do that. So I guess guys, this is it for this video. It's going long. In next video we'll be able to observe this main thing, reshape, that we'll be using in like many more times in our future. So this is the one of the main function that we are using, reshape. Then we have few more, diagonal, okay, triangular, upper triangular. Then we have this random, which I'm talking about. This is also important, generating random numbers. And I guess, yeah, there are more two to three things that we need to discuss. So this is it guys for this video. Thank you so much guys for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay fit. Bye bye.